So that service has gone virtual, which is now allowing me to spend more time doing things around the agent retention, so more training and growth of the office, its systems and its processes. And I'm doing that for two market centers. I'm doing that for Marco and Naples. So what my schedule typically looks like is that I spend time usually either 3 days at Marco, like this week, for example, I'm 3 days in Marco Island, 2 days in Naples. Next week, I'll be 2 days in Marco Island, 3 days in Naples. So I'll be on a rotation schedule like that. So typically I'm in front of you when I'm doing this. So that's why I'm doing it here for Marco today. And also Eric, I don't know if he's in the room yet, our agent services coordinator. I know he's helping to get our printers set up because we have a new printer that just came in. So he would have been in here with us as well, as he will be helping to fill in, doing orientation whenever I'm not there. So that's why we're doing it on Zoom. So I apologize for short notice on that one because I am in Marco today. So I always like to tell everybody a little bit about who I am and what I love about the company. So I started in the real estate business officially full-time in 2017. I started as a part-time agent in 2016 as I was transitioning out of my previous career, which was in retail. I was a general manager for Best Buy stores. And I'm not saying I hated it, and yet I just fell out of love with that career. It wasn't my passion. I did grow up around a family that does real estate, meaning they buy and hold and they do flips. So growing up through high school, I kind of had that always around me. I just never really jumped right into it as I came out of high school. So again, fast forward, had my daughter in 2013, and just the wheels started spinning and my priorities started to change. And real estate was just something I always had a passion around. Finally, like I said, in 2016, I got the license. I went to Larson. If you guys are local, you probably maybe went to Larson as well. It's funny, I did it twice. I actually did Larson in 2013, and then I put getting my taking the state test on back burner. And in 2016, I redid it again, but this time I actually went in person, took the course, and got licensed. Like I said, started part-time. And then as I was making that decision to go full-time, the way I looked at it is I wanted to be in the company that's going to provide me all the tools and resources to be successful. And at that time, until this day, KW, Keller Williams, was the one that I found had everything I needed to essentially allow me to have all the tools I needed to grow the business the way I wanted to grow it. So I joined like whatever the first business day of January 2017 was. I think it was like a third or fourth of the month. I went ahead and joined. Started plugging into trainings just like you guys are. I went to Ignite, which is one of our big programs I'll talk later about. I went through what's called Bold, another program that I'll talk to you a little bit later about, and just started plugging into all those trainings and learning how to use a CRM, how to put people into my contacts, how to set up email drips, just essentially how to get the ball rolling. All the things I was learning in those two courses, I started to implement. And fast forward, the first year I did about 2.6 million. Then it just kept growing from there. Went to 3.6 the next year, then 6 million, then 9 million, and then about 10 million for this past year that just ended. In that time, I also was a part of the Agent Leadership Council. So it's our top 20% of agents in the office. It's kind of like our board of directors. So I did serve on that for 3 years, and also did what's called Florida Educational Services. And that's a program outside of KW, but it is specific to KW agents, where we went around different market centers doing different trainings for agents in those market centers. So COVID unfortunately put a stop to a lot of that, where we weren't going to market centers anymore and we went to Zoom. So I haven't been on the road as much as you can imagine, because it's still kind of tough out there. A lot of people weren't doing in-house classes. So hoping that maybe that comes back around. And so fast forward to where I'm at right now, I've always had a passion around leadership and helping agents grow. I had put my name in the hat in previous leadership positions that have came up at our office, and the timing wasn't right, and this one was the right one for me. So I'm proud to say that now I'm transitioning out of being an agent and really being a leader for the office for both market centers, and helping to grow it, of course, and provide all the tools for you agents to continue to grow your business. So pretty excited to help start to serve you now on a leadership capacity. So I'd like to share that about me, just so you guys know who I am a little bit. And so let's do this. I'll have you two speak. Tell me name, how long in the business, and what got you into the business. Kind of what was the exciting piece about jumping in? Glen, you want to go?
Yep. My name is Christian. I'm brand new to the business, actually. got officially licensed about the beginning of this month. January 3rd is when I took my state test, and then so I passed it on the 3rd, and then got officially here. I went to Keller Williams the weekend of, actually the Friday of that week. So as for experience, I'm currently working at the Arlington and Naples at the retirement home. Before that, I was working at a food production warehouse, and then chocolate smoothie. So as for like sales experience, not too much there, but a lot of people experience interacting and working as a team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. What were you gonna say? You went to where?
I went to Florida Southwestern, got my general education, my AA, and it was more tailored towards business side of it, but ended it there, got my associates, and decided it wasn't for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Well, welcome. And you're going in as a solo agent? Are you on a team? What are your plans?
So I'm trying to get as much experience as I can. So I'm looking at the team aspect of it and trying to build myself and try to soak up as much information. And once I utilize it, eventually be a single agent.
Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Next.
Hello, I'm Glen Gideon. My background is in healthcare administration. I got my undergrad degree at the University of Cincinnati. I have had my license since 2014. Before moving to Florida, my husband and I had a property management company for about 11 years. I'm very active on the board. I'll be on Katie and Bill Archer's team, working with them. And I hope to also become a trainer.
Awesome. Awesome. And when you say a trainer, like production, like for a sales trainer, or what kind of trainer are you looking to get into?
I just started getting information about all the training that Keller Williams has to offer. So I don't know what you call it, but someone for Keller Williams, yeah.
Yeah, it'll come to you. You'll figure that part out. So the cool thing is, when I joined Keller Williams, I had no intentions of being a trainer. And yet the opportunities just continue to present themselves as I went to other trainings. And there is something, I'm gonna just plant the seed in your head. There is something called train the trainer, and then train the trainer advanced. So whenever you see that come up on the calendar, definitely make sure where you check in with either myself or Morgan, because sometimes if it's not on the calendar, maybe we might know a different market center where it's at. So that you can make sure you attend those, because that's really the foundation to get the ball rolling on becoming a trainer with KW. And that's outside of the market center. That's totally separate than any opportunities that come up in the market center.
Oh, yeah. I teach for Florida realtors. I teach a property management class and a diversity class.
Perfect.
So I'm hoping that will help me moving forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it absolutely will. I see online we got Chris, but somebody was talking real quick out of the Naples. Oh no, that was probably you. That was, I heard you. Okay. Chris, you with us online?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep, there you go. Okay,
awesome.
we met yesterday.
Yeah, man, briefly.
Briefly, yeah, briefly.
Yes. So, but I guess I just signed up yesterday, in the last like 24, 48 hours.
There you
go. Still getting up to speed.
Yeah, no, you'll have a lot that I'll be downloading to you
today.
No,
I'm excited.
Yeah, awesome. And so you just started. What's your background? What are you coming from?
Yeah, so I've had my license for about 6 months.
Okay.
But I actually took off. I got my license and then just took off like 6 months to just kind of unwind. I've been working in the corporate world for the last 10 years in automotive. So I worked for the first 5 years for Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Aston Martin, all like the Highline exotic world.
Yeah.
And then the last 5 years, I worked for Tesla. So I was there. I helped launch 3 new locations. So Naples, Estero, and Fort Myers.
Yeah.
And I was the senior sales advisor there. So I've been in sales, had my own company, used to do photography professionally for magazines. Yeah, I've done a little bit of everything, but loved automotive, loved sales, know a lot of people in town, born and raised in Naples.
Oh, really?
So,
Wow.
Yeah,
At least
No,
I
man, we're
don't
like a unicorn. So I feel like I have a lot to offer and to teach and hopefully learn
Yeah.
as well. So I'm
All
excited.
right, what do you, let me get to the real question. What do you drive? Because if you
Yeah.
sold those cars, you probably were very
I
cautious
have a
about what you
Lexus.
drove.
A Lexus. I'm humble. It's paid off. It works. I'm honestly, I'm just too cheap. I'd rather take my money and invest it in something that
Yeah.
appreciates.
No, that's smart,
So,
man. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Awesome, dude. Well, I'm looking forward to, just spending
Yeah.
more time with all of you in the market center. So,
Definitely.
here's the game plan for up until 4. I believe you guys time blocked your schedule to be here till 4. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So that being said, our game plan, oh, wait, come on, minimize. My game plan today is to go through session 1 and 2 of orientation. So I'm going to tell you that when I took over this role, one of my biggest priorities taking in the role was that I wanted to revamp essentially our 30, 60, 90, essentially your first quarter in the business, and just the whole orientation process in general, because I felt we had an opportunity around agents getting in the business, and then because here's the thing, you go to different brokerages, you interview. I'm gonna go ahead and mute one of you real quick just for sound purposes. Is that you, Chris? There you go. Thanks, appreciate that, Chris. A lot of agents get into the business, and unfortunately, they plug in, they go interview a bunch of brokers, they sign on with one, and then it just kind of get lost. A lot of times they don't plug into the training. They don't, they believe, this is my opinion, that sometimes they're walking into a W-2 job. Chris, you can relate, corporate world, right? Like you signed in at Tesla, you had this training program, you did the work, and there were systems and processes for everything. And yet realistically, real estate's different, right? Most people get into it because, freedom, create your own schedule, be your own boss. Like there's a lot of things that we see that hype people up to get in the business. And yet sometimes, unfortunately, that's also the struggle they have of getting out of that mindset and realizing that following a structured schedule is important. So one of my goals with orientation was to revamp it, to really show you. Session 1 is the things you need to know around KW, and then session 2 and 3 are things that I came up with that I'm working on to just improve the process. So let me real quick, is this in the way? Can you guys see this? Okay, you can still see just the orientation session 1, right? Is that what you see?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So let me just start going right through it. And then here's the thing, guys, stop me. It's a little bit different, right? Because as I'm speaking, I'm actually not going to be able to see you. So just as questions come up, just slow me down, say, hey, question about that, Jordis, and then we can have some conversations around that. Yet I have different points throughout this first 2 sessions, the next hour and a half, where I will slow down and I will ask you guys questions to get some dialogue going. So let's go ahead and move forward. What we're going to cover in this first session is talk about the mission of KW, talk about our culture, some aspects of the office. We'll talk about training and tech and what's available out there for you. We're going to cover that at a high level. I'm not getting into like how to add a contact into the database, how to send out an email in the database. I'm not going to get into that and just kind of show you the tools that are out there for you so that you know at least what you want to go out there and learn about. I will talk to you about Ignite and then any additional support. And then from there, we'll go to the second session, which in the second session, I'm going to be talking more about your big why you're getting into this business and getting into creating your business plan, because that's another thing I tend to see agents fall trap of is not creating a structured plan that they follow weekly in their calendar. So then what that happens is that they start one week, they come in all excited and let's say they're lead generating, calling their sphere. Then the next week they go to a training and maybe they saw somebody post something about how they get leads on social media. So then they shift all their attention to social media and then they forget their sphere. So we'll talk a lot about creating a business plan and following it. So going right into it, the first thing is our mission. So it's very important that as agents, you understand Keller Williams' vision, mission, and we'll talk about the vision as well. And one thing with what I'm about to share with the mission, the vision of the company is that a lot of times when you think about your value proposition, when you're meeting with a buyer or seller, they're going to ask you, why should I work with you? Your value proposition doesn't just have to be what, let's say, Katie and Bill offer. It's also what the company offers. So leaning on our mission is another big one. So the first thing on our mission, so to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. What stands out to you guys when you hear that mission?
Legacies.
Yeah.
Lives worth living.
Yeah, lives work. Yep. What else? Which other one stood out to you?
Experiences worth giving?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you interpret that, Glenn? What do you think that means?
I am not sure. I think that's why I'm so excited, that it stood out to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Does
absolutely.
it mean the experiences that we have as agents, sharing that information with other agents?
Yeah, it absolutely can be that, and it doesn't just stop there. It's also think about our customers, the experience to our customers, and think about our family. You know, when I read a lot of this, I think more about my family than I do my business.
Okay.
That's what I think about. So, we all come from different backgrounds, and some of us maybe loved our previous jobs and everything was great about it. But yet, if we're here, there's a high probability, there's something that wasn't so good. There was something that's maybe stopping you. Therefore, you seek a different opportunity. So when I think about the mission, a lot of this stands out for me. But one of the big ones is lives worth living. We think about, and I'll just I won't speak for you, I'll speak for myself. So when I think about my career at Best Buy, I learned a lot with that company, became a better leader because of it. And yet it took away time from my family. My daughter at the time, who was very young when I had her in 2013, I was like in the middle of the grind with Best Buy, where I was working a ton of hours. I wasn't spending the holidays with her. So for me, that wasn't a life worth living. So when I jumped into real estate, it was to create that life worth living, where now I never miss my daughter's events. I'm always there for key holidays. I'm there for my family. And, that's what I interpret when I see lives worth living, right? And creating a business that allows you to do that. Our vision, our values of the company, it's God, family, and then business. And what's amazing is that as we make decisions, not only for our agents in the office, but for our ownership group and for or even our business, I always think through that. I always think God, family, then business. And when you think that way and you follow the mission statement, I just think for us, at least, I feel like it's easier to make bigger decisions that impact our lives in a positive way. And, you mentioned that experiences stand out to you. I hear, what are the experiences that you're giving your family, and what are the experiences you're giving your friends through this? A lot of our desire, I'll speak for Bill and Katie a little bit here. I don't know the conversations behind closed door, and yet our desire, I know their desire is to help people's lives get better and make a better income and have a better business. And that's what I see when I think experience, or that's what I think of when I see experiences worth giving. So the mission statement, our values, you'll see it spoken about quite frequently. So like a lot of our team meetings, pretty much every team meeting is going to start with us going over it, just because we want to keep it front and center. So any questions on that?
No.
Sir.
Awesome. So then our belief system. So I'm going to show you a video real quick here shortly about Red Day, but I want to talk about our KW belief system. This is one that I really love to have in presentations in front of a buyer or seller, because again, when you go back to why Keller Williams, or why should I work with you, it's our belief system. We believe in win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing. Let me stop there for a second. You know what's amazing about win-win or no deal? So I'm actually, I had stuff in the pipeline already from the year before I took the role. So one of them is a deal that I'm doing with an agent that previously was with KW, based on their circumstances, they went somewhere else. And what was awesome is that I was so looking forward to doing that deal with her. And it's because I knew deep down she was embedded in our culture of win-win, no deal. And it's literally showed up every step of the way. This is not an agent that I dreaded to work with. It's one that I was super excited to work with, because I knew they wanted to make everything work every step of the way. It wasn't that agent that's just really trying to create a win-lose situation, or really just trying to put that other agent down. So it's beautiful working with another KW agent, because that's what you're going to get. It starts with win-win or no deal. So wanted to mention that, because I think that's one of the great things about working with another KW agent. So again, integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. I'll stop on that one. So as you think about whether you're going to join a team or build a team, I'm a big believer on, a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't want to be a team. I want more commissions. I want to keep more. I don't want to split, yada, yada, whatever excuses come up. But here's the reality. As a team, generally, when you're on a team, each person is wearing the hat that they should be wearing. So what do I mean by that? Like if I'm a great buyer's agent, my team leader, my rainmaker, however you want to call them, probably knows that. And they're going to put that hat on for me. And they're going to allow me to be in the position that I'm going to be best suited for. And they're going to do the same thing with everybody else on the team, including themselves. And when everyone is doing what they're best at, the whole team together does more. You know, we have some teams, one of our big teams, Denny Grimes, he's a Fort Myers agent who has expanded into Naples and expanded into Marco Island. He's a great example of that, where he, of course, has a split with his team. And some may say, wow, that's quite a drastic split. And yet those agents are making way more money than many other agents out there at 100% or even a 70-30, just because the value that team brings. So I truly believe in teamwork. And here's the thing, if you don't join a team, there's nothing wrong with that, because we are the team. We are your team. You know, I came from a culture at my previous company where people were doing this, they were covering up their work, they weren't sharing what's working for them. That's never going to be the case here at Keller Williams, whether it be Naples, Marco, Bonita. You know, I've traveled to a lot of different market centers, and what's consistent at every single one of them, it's like you're part of a fraternity and everyone's there to help you from day one. So together we definitely achieve more. Next one, trust starts with honesty, and success results through people. I encourage you to take these belief system and definitely build them into your value proposition that you sell to your buyers and sellers that you're looking to work with. The next thing I want to talk about is Red Day. So, and I'm going to actually show you a quick video, but essentially what Red Day is the one day out of the entire year where we actually, all of our offices close down. It's during the week, we close the office down. And what we do is we all go out into our communities and serve. So we wear our red shirts, our red volunteer shirts. We generally order them in as we're getting closer to the event. And everyone does different things. Like in the last 2 years, I know our market center, we did Habitat for Humanity, which was pretty fun if you've never done Habitat for Humanity. Last year, I got to put hurricane straps on. It was 2-story townhomes they were building. And I got to put the hurricane straps between the top and bottom floor. And I'm like, man, you guys trust me with this? But it was a really cool experience to kind of just get everybody together. And it's just, we're a full force going out there into the community. So that's definitely part of our culture and part of our tradition. So I'm going to show you a quick video on that. I'm going to start the video, but I'm going to pause and just let me know if you can hear it. And then I'll start it all over again. I just want to make sure you can hear it. So give me 1 second here. Let me make sure that I am sharing the audio as well. We're going to get that started. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yes, it's loud.
Okay. All right, let me try it again. Lower. Was that better?
Yeah. Yes, that's good.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and restart it. Oh, sorry, I muted on accident. Stop that. And then one thing, so you saw the date on there. What date was it?
May 13.
All right, every single year, May 13. So you might as well just go ahead and block your calendar out for May 13 and make it a reoccurring event. So that's right around the corner. And one of the things too, if you're passionate around giving back to the community, part of the Agent Leadership Council, so our top 20% agents that are our board of directors, we're going to actually make a new announcement. We made an announcement the other day on the private Facebook page, if you didn't see it yet. But part of their responsibilities are to run different committees. One of the committees that we run is what's called the Culture and Social Committee. So if you're passionate around that piece, that's something that, we're always looking for people to play a role in that, to help bring our culture to life. And more importantly, what we would love to really do is, not wait for Red Day. We'd love to maybe do more quarterly events that doesn't require us to wait for one day out of the year. So if that's something that resonates with you, definitely come talk to myself or Morgan, and we can introduce you to who that person will be. We're actually gonna on January, January 24th, we're gonna have our first meeting of the new year with the Agent Leadership Council, so that we can go ahead and designate who's gonna run the different committees, so we can get the ball rolling on that. Any questions?
No.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you. All right. This is straightforward information. I just want to share real quick. It's just more about just the office. I mean, so make sure you save the office phone number. This is the office phone number up here, and it's also the password to our logon. You guys are probably already all set up there. Printers, if you haven't already set up your printers, make sure to get with Eric, and he'll get you set up. Make sure you get on the KW private page. What I'm going to do is before we get done today, I'm going to walk you through this checklist that I've put together for you, that it's going to help you with your first 10 days and your first 30, 60, 90, just to give you some direction. Now, if you're on a team, the team may have a little bit different process, so get with your team about that. If not, if you're going individual agent first, go ahead and just start to follow the checklist. But whether you're on a team or not, the checklist is going to be helpful just to make sure you have everything set up that you need to have set up. So I'll share that with you at the end of the call here today. You're going to also start getting invitations to different things that are on our calendar. We promote them through text message. So you're going to start receiving text messages for events from a 512 area code number. Go ahead and just save that. That way, it's just our way to reach you in a different fashion. We communicate a lot through email, text message, voicemail message that we drop to your phone, and then as well as our Facebook private page. Are all three of you already on the Facebook private page?
No, I just signed up yesterday afternoon, like at 4 p.m. So.
Okay, so I'm going to give you my phone number first off right now, because I want you to save my number. Gwen, I think you and I are already connected on Facebook. Chris, yes. Yeah. So if we're not connected, go ahead, send me a Facebook request, so that way I can get you added on. And by my number, so you have, is 239-919-4081. So go ahead and save that. And then if you haven't set up your printers, get with Eric, and he will help you. He's our agent services coordinator. His job is to get you onboarded onto all of our systems, and just kind of provide you the support as you are working through your first few months, and just continuing to grow from there. If you haven't already, I'm sure all of you probably maybe already taken a tour of the office. You kind of know where the lay of the land is. But between Nikki and Eric, they're always going to be there in the office if you have any questions about anything office specific. So we do have, I don't know if Eric's already met with you to set up your door codes. If he has not yet, get with him. That way we can create a code. That way, when the office is closed, or evenings when we're closed after hours, you guys, if you need to work, you can still come into the office and just put in your unique code. So get with Eric in regards to that. Any questions before I move past this? Cool. All right, the next thing. So how we deliver training and education is kind of really what I want to cover here. So there's a few different ways. We do offer a lot of classroom training. So in the calendar, when you pop it up, you're going to want to, so the calendar that we utilize, let me actually do something. Tell me if you see the spreadsheet that just popped up.
No.
Do you see a calendar or no?
No.
All right, give me a second. I have to reshare it. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's an example of our calendar. What you're going to want to be very cautious on when you're looking at the calendars, clicking onto what event it is, because, like, for example, let's look at tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a command training. So this is all around command, KW, the command system, which is our CRM, and through DocuSign. So you can click on the calendar, and actually I don't want it to kick me off the Zoom, so I'm gonna hit cancel, but it'll take you to the Zoom link that is specific for that class. A lot of our classes are done through Zoom right now, just like we're doing orientation. And then there's a lot of stuff that's done in-house as well. So your calendar, when you click on them, that's going to be the best way to find out the location of that, as well as our Facebook page. So I'm going to actually show you, because I just want you to physically see. I'm going to go to our Facebook page and I'm going to reshare my screen so you see it. So here I'm on our Facebook page. And if you look here on our private group page, this is another way for you to find out what's happening and where things are. You can go to our featured posts, and in there, you can go find the calendar. So here's actually an example. This was posted on Friday so that you can see what was being promoted the following week. So you can see all the classes for the following week, and you can see the Zoom link for them if applicable. If there's no Zoom link there, it's likely in-house only. But I'll give you an example. Like we had our sales meeting yesterday. That's always traditionally in-house, and then we have the option for those that want to watch it on Zoom. So pretty much all trainings will be in-house and Zoom, unless otherwise stated. So that's what I wanted to, let me reshare the right screen. Okay, perfect. You guys we're back to the PowerPoint. You see the training and education?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, perfect. All right, so classroom trainings are the first way that we deliver a lot. Then there's KW Connect. So I'm gonna actually show it to you. So you go to kwconnect.com. We host a lot of training. Now, keep in mind, if it's on our training calendar and it's gonna be a KW Connect event, we're gonna have the link there for you. But you can also at any given time, click on KW Connect, just like I did now, go down and you can see what's streaming next. So there's always different things that are gonna be streaming at different times. So like, for example, I guess we know what that means. What the whatever that means in your head. What do I post on social media? So that's gonna be playing in looks like around, what is that, 1 o'clock tomorrow, noon tomorrow. There'll be a training on that, and then you can keep going down and you can go ahead forward and start looking for other trainings that might be happening. So it looks like if you click on, well, there's tomorrow's class. You can click on Fridays, and then on Friday there's a luxury learning series. This one's going to be on leveraging your database for success. So that's another opportunity right there for you. So there's different opportunities that come up through here. Down here at the bottom, there's other trainings that are more like on-demand style trainings that you can access right away, that you can jump into. So like, for example, let's click this one for James Shaw. Let's see what he's got going on. Yeah, I think he's got the whole video series recorded as one. Yeah, so he's got 29 minutes of it right there. So you can watch those trainings that were previously presented on here. They're hosted, they're saved, so you can go back to them. This is back to the homepage where I just was, and you can go back to them and look at them here. So that's what it is. So they broke them into week 5, week 4. So you can see, you'll be able to find all his classes there. And you can find other classes as well based on what you're looking for. One other thing, let me see if I can give you a sneak preview of one other thing that we're working on for you. What am I looking for here? Actually, you know what? I won't be able to log in now because the security code. We're also working on a Google Classroom for you. I don't know if you guys know about Google Classroom. It's a feature that we just learned about it last year. So a lot of these trainings that we do and that we record, we're hosting them in a Google Classroom. So if you're looking, for example, for DocuSign trainings, there'll be a Google Classroom that has all the classes that are available for DocuSign. So we're creating a hub where you can then also just go to that hub and find the trainings based on what you're looking for. And that's just going to be, so that for old trainings, right? So you can kind of get the library of what's out there and available. The training calendar, am I back to sharing? Yep, the training calendar here that I talked to you about and showed you earlier, that's the main one you want to go to for live and in-person type stuff. Then there's KWU. So that's actually one of the things I aspired to when I became a Florida Educational Services instructor, which is short FES is what it is. When I became an instructor for them, my goal was always to perfect my craft and get better and better so that I can then eventually become a KW University instructor. A lot of these courses are the high level courses are done by KWU instructors. So those are people that have gone through extensive training and been validated by multiple high-level leaders that they are great and expert at delivering the content that we're looking to deliver to you. Then there's all the events that you may find in the calendar too. So again, the events is one big one to look for in the calendar. And like some of the big events that come up. So I mentioned earlier to you about, I mentioned BOLD as one event. So BOLD stands for Business Objective of Life by Design. And that's a program, it's a 7-week coaching program that's all around your mindset. It's always done locally. So the last one we just finished right before the new year, and it was hosted in Fort Myers. And generally anywhere between 80 to 100 agents go into that program. So that's one of the big events that we put on. And then we have another big one, Family Reunion, which is always in February. This year, it just happens to be in Orlando. So I'm actually going to the website right now because I kind of wanted to show you. And Glenn, you've been to like all the Florida events, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna, and this is no offense to that, so please don't take it. It's that on steroids, to be honest with you.
That's what Bill told me yesterday.
Yeah, it's that on steroids. I mean, Bill will tell you he's been to all of them. Jeff, our broker, will tell you the same thing. So Family Reunion, you can actually go to the website. If you just Google, just like I did, Family Reunion 2022, you can see the agenda of what's going to be covered. You can actually take it both live going to it, or you can take it digitally as well. So notice how it says in Orlando, Florida, and digital. So if you can't afford to go to the live, because of course, you know, we're independent contractors, so you got to buy your ticket and you got to buy your hotel and you got to pay your way. If that's not in the budget, you can still experience it digitally by signing up through the digital spot. So you can feel free to go to the agenda and check it out. You can kind of just see what kind of breakouts they put on. Like for example, and it looks like they're still working. Yeah, so they're still even working on the breakout session. I don't think they're all in here yet. Let me see. Yeah, all the breakout sessions are not here yet. So once they're like, they know the time block, but then you'll be able to see what's all available there for training. So we do 2 of those events a year. We do one in February and then one that's typically right around August. That's called Mega Camp. A little bit different format, but ultimately the same concept of bringing all the top agents to one location and receiving high level training and watching masterminds and panels with some of the top agents in Keller Williams. So that's one option. And the last thing is coaching, of course, too. So, you know, generally speaking, if you are a solo agent, you don't, for the most part, have somebody leading you and coaching you or a mentor. So we are working right now as we speak on relaunching our coaching program to provide an in-house coach. And, you know, if there's something that you're interested, you can come talk sidebar with myself or Morgan. We're right now looking for the right candidate for that so that we can offer, you can plug into the in-house coaching program. And there's coaching at higher levels too. Like, so for example, myself, I have a business coach that's a leadership coach, and I meet with them weekly on Zoom, just like we are now, for 30 minutes. And I get coaching every single week to improve on my leadership skills. So the coaching is something else that is something you can look into. We can walk through and talk to you about that. And more importantly, just look for coaching opportunities on the calendar as well, because there are times where we'll have certain agents. Like I'll give you an example, and I'll actually go to the calendar to show it to you. Let me switch screens again. So if you look on the calendar here, for example, we have Corey Lauer here on the 5th and the 19th that he's doing script practice and role play with Corey Lauer in the training room. So that's a great coaching opportunity. And then he does live prospecting right after that. So they'll coach for 30 minutes on scripts. And then from 9 to 11:30, they'll jump in and start doing live prospecting calls right there in the training room. So something else to just think about as far as coaching goes. So let me go ahead and change the screen back. All right. So the next thing, so this is just links to a lot of the stuff I talked to you about. So it's links to the training calendar. We talked about the KW Connect and the coaching that's available there. I just talked to you a little bit about the different coaching programs that'll be available to you. I do want to show you some couple of quick things. So with Command, I'm just going to click the link to take me there. So right now I am signed on Morgan's Command. Have any of you started to add context yet into that? I know, Glenn, you probably haven't set it up yet. You just, any of you have yet or no?
No, I haven't.
All right, so you're gonna want to make sure we connect with Eric to make sure that you get the proper logons, and then he can point you into the right directions for the upcoming live trainings and then the video trainings that you can start to watch. But Command, this is what's going to be your CRM, your customer relationship manager. This is what's going to be the tool that you utilize to put all your customers into it, put them on email campaigns. You can even do text campaigns. You can set it to remind you things. You can set it to send out birthday messages. So many different things that it's going to help you to do. And it's pretty easy to navigate. What I would encourage all of you to do is once you have your login information for it, jump in there and start to mess with each single one of these tabs so that you can start to see when you go to contacts, what's there? What can you do with contacts? There's different filters you can set. It's very easy to add a contact. So just what I would recommend is get the code set up, get your login, and then start going through these. And then Eric will point you in the right directions for the right trainings to attend to learn about each one of these features that's on there. What I will tell you is that if you try to take it all in at once, it's like drinking from a fire hose. So I wouldn't try to do it all at once. I would focus on very simple tasks of getting people from your phone, from your, I don't know if you have an address book or if you have another database from somewhere else, getting them into the system and then going to the training so you can learn how to utilize the system to stay in front of your customers. And what's really neat, and I'll just show you one other feature within Command, is this design feature. And what's so sweet about it is that when you're ready to start doing social media posts, for example, I can go into create design and I want to do a social media post. So I'm going to go ahead and click social media. I'm going to hit continue. Takes a second here. And then you'll see all these cool things off to the side that you can do for social media that's pre-built into it. So like, for example, we have the KW School of Real Estate. So if you were looking to build your downline and recruit and bring agents in, you can through new agents through the School of Real Estate so they can get the license. You can do their social media posts for that. You can do. If you're looking to promote a listing, you got coming soon posts, for sale posts, you want to do a local expert post to show your knowledge of the market. You can go ahead and there's a bunch of artwork, whether you're doing a story or if you just need the square picture, there's all the artwork there for you that you can modify with our logo, your numbers, your face, however you want to do it, they're all there. There's stuff for buyers. There's stuff for lead generation. So if you're looking at some lead generation, there's different things you can do there. There's also even, let's see where I think I might have missed it. Where is it? One second. Email signatures or social media branding. There's one thing I want to show you. And when I see it, I'll know it. Where are you? Eric, you're on right now, right? I saw you jumped on.
I am here finally.
Yeah, finally, Eric's here. Well, I'm recording this, Eric, so you can rewatch. I was looking for the listing presentations. I don't know why I can't find it. Or maybe it's because it has to be under the agent profile. But there's listing presentations in here too, where you can actually modify the actual presentation itself. So tons of tools that are going to be available for you to play with, but the key thing is get the profile set up and then just get on there and start to utilize the tools. So let me go ahead and go back to the PowerPoint. All right, you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Go ahead, I'm sorry. Somebody asked a question?
No.
Okay, sorry, I thought I heard something. I already talked about all these three, so we'll just kind of skim through this one. So I talked to you about the family reunion, talked about the mega camp. I talked to you about Bold, and then the mastermind program. So a lot of it is getting done virtually right now, again, because of everything going on. But then there's also fall and spring masterminds. So there's generally a mastermind for anything that you can plug into, and those will also get put on our calendar, so you can jump into them. Most of them, again, like I said, they're Zoom, and there are some masterminds, like we do luxury masterminds here in our office. You'll find that in our calendar as well. So just.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did you say that Mega Camp was only for the top 20% of the agents in the office?
No, mega camp and family reunions for everybody. This is anybody who's looking to pour into themselves and grow. So we see brand new agents go, we see top agents go. The top 20%, what I mean by that, or really the top 100 agents that are the panelists. They're the ones that are speaking and doing different. Yeah, the other ones that are bringing the training, but this is open to everybody. I went, actually, if I remember correctly, my first year in the business, I went to it. So you can imagine the shock in my eyes when I saw, and I've been to like previous events at Best Buy, so I kind of was accustomed to like the big convention setup, but this is a whole nother animal. We're talking music blaring. It's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement around the company and just all the things that they bring to us for value. So yes, it is open to everybody. All right, next. So right now I'm going to take a quick pause. Is David still in the room?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. So we have two in-house business partners. One for mortgage, which is David. I'm going to actually allow him to, I'm not going to take his thunder. I'll let him speak. He's our in-house lender partner. And then we also have an in-house title partner, Cynthia Bello. David will tell you his office is physically in our building, in our space. And then Cynthia's office is around the corner, right next to Tacos and Tequilas, right around the corner of the restaurant there in the shopping center. So let me go ahead and get a video up. And then David, if you want to go ahead and jump up, I just want to.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to switch the camera here so the people online there can see me. Tell me if that, can you guys see me okay, Jordan?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, great. All right. Is the floor mine?
Yeah, weird angle. I'm messing with you.
Oh, it's the, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see you, buddy.
All right. Okay, Chris, welcome. Thank you for coming. My name is David Trawick, guys. I am with Dockside Mortgage. We are a mortgage broker here. That's what's called a joint venture here with the KW team. I started here back in the very end of July. And I got to tell you, I couldn't be happier. I was previously working for another company where I was writing mortgages in 11 different states, right? I did all kinds of stuff. And I just, this opportunity just kind of fell into my lap. I got lucky is the way I see it. But anyways, one of the things that I want to talk about a little bit is when George talks about all the different training opportunities and all the different things and some of these successful agents that you're going to see and meet around here. The one thing I can tell you is that since I've been here and interacting with these guys and gals, they challenge me to be better, right? Because we work as a team, right? You guys are, we have clients together and things like that. So one thing I can tell you is in your real estate career is come to the office. If you have the opportunity to come to the office and learn, come to the office and learn, and you're gonna be surrounded by some great minds. They're gonna teach you all kinds of great stuff. You'll just pick up on little things here and there, little nuances and all that kind of stuff. And before long, you'll be the one who's teaching. You'll be the one who's taking on the next new person coming in the door who's just, eyes this big and green as can be. So that being said, guys, what do I do here? Basically, I'm just another tool in your tool bag, okay? It's something that you can offer your clients, help them finance, okay? When it comes to the current market right now, it's hot, right? We all know that. And if you've got somebody who wants to buy a home, the first thing that any smart agent is going to say is, are you pre-approved? Okay. A lot of times agents won't even let you show the home unless you have a pre-approval letter and things like that. So that's where I come into play. Okay. Now there's two things. There's something called pre-qualification, something called pre-approval. All right. Pre-qualification just means I've spoken to the client. They tell me, hey, Dave, I make X amount of dollars per month. I don't really have a lot of debts, blah, blah, blah. And I can, based off of their word, kind of calculate some numbers and say, okay, yeah, it looks like we can probably get you approved for X amount of dollars, right? I'll be honest with you, I don't really care for that because it's
Either do I.
it's not worth the paper I printed on, but I'll do it if you guys really want me to. What we like to do is get what's called a pre-approval or a conditional approval. Okay, and what that means is if you tell me, hey Dave, I make $100,000 a year, and I'm salary, and okay, here's all my pay stubs, here's my W-2. So now we have documentation to back up what you're telling me. I will send that off to an underwriter. An underwriter will look at it, and within 24 to 48 hours, I have a decision that says, yes, we are confident we're going to write this loan, provided nothing changes throughout the process. Okay. That being said, that's almost as good as having cash at that point. Okay, because now you've got the backing of a lender that says, yes, we will write this loan for this much money. Okay, so as a broker, one of the things that I can do is I write for different lenders, which means I can shop the rate around a little bit, see who's got the lower rate for that particular day. One of the things, if you're following the news a little bit, mortgage industry especially, or just real estate in general, you probably are reading things like, oh, interest rates are going up. Interest rates are going up, right? And don't get too alarmed by that. Yes, they are starting to go back up, but if you go back 2 years, a little over 2 years, 2019, we're still lower than what they were in 2019. Okay, so kind of put it in perspective. Okay, so what else do we offer? We basically the full array here. So when it comes to conventional loans, that's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. When it comes to FHA loans, which is great for first-time home buyers, VA loans. I am a veteran myself, so I'm well versed in VA loans. I have a whole team that does nothing but VA loans. And then what is it? VA, FHA, conventional. What am I missing here? I don't know. But
Do you do mobile homes?
no, I don't do mobile homes.
Okay.
That's the only thing. What else?
Hey, David,
Yes, sir.
were you not, if I remember correctly, were you guys working on a new construction product or no?
I was just going to I was just going to talk about that right now. I have one more training. It's scheduled for this month here. It's something called a one-time close. Okay, so what that means is you got a buyer. Maybe they want to buy a piece of land or something like that, right? And they want to build a house. Okay, typically what you'd have to do is you'd go to a lender and they would get you a construction loan, and then after that you would have to do a second loan for the finished product, right? This is what's called a one-time close, meaning it's one loan and that's it. You only pay closing costs one time and that's it. Okay. I have to go through the training with this particular lender. I've already done 2 of them. I have 1 more to go. And then once I have that, I'll be able to offer that to you guys as well. One of the big things that we see here in the Naples area, and those of you guys are from here, you've been here long enough, a lot of investors, right? A lot of people looking at condos because they rent them out during season or something like that. So interest rates are different when it comes to your primary residence versus, say, a second home or an investment property, something you're going to rent out, right? So that's something that I'm talking to Jordis and as far as I'm going to be teaching a class every month about mortgages. So it'll start off as like a mortgage 101. Here's the basics, and then we're going to build off of that every month. Okay, so that'll be on the schedule, and we'll pick a date, and it'll be like the same, whatever, the same third, I don't know, Tuesday of every month or whatever it ends up being. Okay, so I would encourage you guys to attend. I'm sure we'll probably do it via Zoom as well for those of you that cannot attend. But I don't expect you guys to become mortgage professionals, but it's great to have a little bit of an understanding because your clients are looking at you. You are the face of Keller Williams, and you need to know everything about everything, right? That's the way they think sometimes. So it's great that you can answer a few general questions, and then usually after that, I would just tell you, hey, defer to me, and please give me my card or have me. I will meet your clients in person. I will meet them here at the office, call them on the phone, whatever you want me to do. Just let me know. I'm happy to do it. Okay. That being said, guys, you have my card. Chris, I wish I could get you my card, but I think my information is posted up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. So I just reshared the slide again. So his information is right up.
Okay. So for you, Chris, my number's on there. That's my cell phone. So I respond phone, email, text, smoke signal, whatever you want to do. Just send me a message. I will respond. Okay. Other than that, I just, since Cynthia's not here, I will let you guys know about Title Alliance. Another tool for your bag, guys. Cynthia is fantastic. She's not really big on coming up and presenting and then talking and things like that, because she loves to do all the paperwork. If you've ever bought a home or anything like that, you realize that the amount of paperwork is like this thick. It's ridiculous. But that's where she really, really shines, and she is fantastic. She's just right down here, hang a left, and as you're walking for tacos and tequila, and she's fantastic. Okay, her number's on there as well. If you guys have any title related questions, we all have to work hand in hand. I mean, that's one of the trainings that I'll be putting on, is what the expectations are, what kind of a timeline you can expect from the time that you have your offer accepted. You've got a contract now in a house, and then what's the timeline so we can go right to closing, right? So what needs to happen and all that. So we'll get into all that a little later on in the future. Other than that, do you guys have any questions for me? No, Chris, anything?
I'm good. Appreciate the insight.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time, guys. Welcome to Keller Williams.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing your names plastered everywhere as being some of the top producers. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, George.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
David. Appreciate you always. Thank you. All right, you guys have his number up on the screen. Just take a quick picture if you haven't already done so. I'm gonna go to the next slide and start wrapping up this session. So the next thing I'm gonna talk about kind of what's next. So if I understand correctly, so when you've been licensed for some time now, you don't have to
Yes,
do post licensing.
no,
No. All right. If you have to do post licensing, this is where you're going to want to plug into Ignite Enhanced. This is where, because here's the thing, when you get licensed in your first 2 years, you need to go ahead and take your post licensing credits. Our old broker, Christine Hansen, actually, that's one of the big things that she made a huge impact on with us at KW and the state, is that she has our Ignite program, which is 12 modules that is also on the calendar. It's virtual, that you can now also take that course, not only get plugged into KW and just get your business rolling, but it's also going to count towards your credit hours that you need for post licensing. So you just pay the $45 and it'll get you the credit. So the Ignite calendar, Eric, if you can actually just post the link to it in the chat box for Chris, but later on we'll get that to you. It's not urgent that you got to write this second, because when we get you the checklist for your first 10 days and your first 30, 60, 90, the links will be in there. But again, if you need post licensing credit, I would recommend doing it through taking the Ignite program. You do have to show up on Zoom. You have to be present the whole time there. So just make sure that you are time blocking that into your calendar so you can get it done. So
I spoke with Christine this morning. She told me about it.
awesome. Oh, really? I think she's still in town, I believe.
Yeah, she's on one of my committees.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, I thought so. I saw her. It was last week or the week before. So before I move on to the next portion about.
Real quick, Jordis.
Yes.
So I just checked. The Ignite calendar for February isn't available yet. I can send the link to the next Ignite course, but the February one isn't available yet.
Yeah, just get them the calendar for January. They can plug in to start going to the classes, but for the enhanced portion, yeah, we have to wait till that one's available then.
Sure.
Yep, awesome. Any questions before I move on to the next session based on everything I talked about so far in the last 45 minutes?
No,
I actually started the Ignite program like 2 days ago.
Good.
Amazing. But it does overlap a lot with other things on the Naples schedule.
You know what?
So,
it absolutely does. And the reality is a lot of trainings will do that. And here's what I would encourage you to do. And thank you for bringing that up, Chris, is that you can't be everywhere. You know what I mean? You're gonna run yourself crazy trying to do that. So look at where you're at in your business and determine, what do I need to plug into the next 30 days? Once you got that knocked out, so once you're done with Ignite, then you can start to plug into a few other things. So you can't be at the same place at the same time. So good point though.
Jordis, does Ignite have to be taken in order, or can you jump in at any point?
If you want credit for the post licensing, it has to be taken in order. If I'm not mistaken, I'll double check with Christine, because you have to take all 12 modules. You can't take the test without the module. But if you just plug into regular Ignite, you can jump into it right now. So Chris, what session did you take 2 days ago?
I started on number 4, but I've been backtracking, trying to catch up because they're all online. So
Yeah, they're online.
It's not hard, but they are like 3 hours a piece, 2.5, 3 hours a piece.
Yep.
So it's like you got to plan it out to get caught up. It's a lot.
No, you absolutely do. And let me just here, I want to verify something real quick here. I'm going to give you an example. So I'm going to pop up here the calendar for you guys to see something. So if you look at the calendar and I share it with you, like here's the January one, you'll see in the blue. So was it 2 days ago you said? So you were Ignite, yeah, you were Ignite 4 on Monday. Today was Ignite 5, Ignite 6. And on the calendar, you can just click the link and it'll take you to the page to register for that session. So you can jump in at any time. So, you know, Glenn, for example, you can start on Friday if you want it, start with session 6. And this one's going to be on pricing it to sell. So thank you for bringing that up. Any other question?
No.
All cool. So let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
Backtracking a little bit. I don't know if people saw in chat. I was typing it in as you were going over command. I posted in the chat a link for a YouTube video on how to export your contacts if you have an iPhone. It'll make it way easier than just simple like data entry and command. So just in case you guys find that useful.
Yep, cool. Thanks for sharing. All right, next piece. So let me go ahead and screen share again. All right, so the next piece we want to talk about is goal setting, essentially, and how do we get the best return on in this business. So I'm going to focus a lot on your big why and goal setting, really. So here's where you're at today. Each of you are in a different spot. So you either you created and use a business plan currently, and you're using it, running it, or using one on a daily basis to run your business. You either have created a business plan and you intend to learn how to use it more effectively. You're either fairly new in real estate and new to business planning, so you don't have one, or you are on a team and are new to business planning. Where would you guys say you are right now out of those 4 spots? 3. I keep hearing 3. Okay, so fairly new to real estate and new to business planning. I'll tell you, it's funny. So I went to FGCU as a business major, and I remember when I learned about business planning, it was like 20, 30, like long business plans. Ours is, guess how many pages?
5.
How many?
5.
5?
How about 1?
3.
How about 1? I like that. How about 1? So absolutely. So I'm gonna make sure that I got 45 minutes left with you. I want to make sure I'm big on respecting your time too as well. So when we time block something 2 to 4, I stick to it. If not, I ask for permission to go over. So we'll definitely make sure we'll talk a lot about business planning. So again, we're going to talk about playing all in, understanding your big motivation, creating your vision board, how to create a business plan. We're going to talk about utilizing a tool that we call the 411, and we'll talk about accountability. So going first into playing all in. So the National Association of Realtors reported that 87% of agents fail after 5 years in the business. Only 13% make it. I want to ask you, this is the discussion. Why do you think that is?
You have to work it every day, just like you do a regular job.
They don't see immediate results.
Yeah, they don't see immediate result. That's a good one. What's interesting when I think about what you just said about immediate results, sometimes that's less than 30 days, meaning if they don't see the results in less than 30 days, they throw in the towel. What else? Reasons that agents get out of the business and fail.
They might not have someone to show them the ropes, a mentor.
Okay, yeah, so the right support, the right guidance, maybe they're with the wrong brokerage, don't have the right resources around them. That's a good one. What else?
They don't continue to learn. They just get bored and try something else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not learning based, very short-minded. Yeah, that I see that come up quite a bit too. Anything else? Another one, they run out of money.
Oh yeah, that's big.
Yeah, we think about that when you go into the 5-year mark. Once you pay, I always think that if you make it past your first, second year, you're doing well. But in the National Association, they only had this stat, and maybe I overlooked it. I know that, and Gwen, maybe you might remember, what was the stat for those that fail in the first year? Do you remember roughly where that number was?
It was close to the 87%.
Yeah, it was right up there too as well. So, and it's for all the reasons that you just mentioned. So the reason I bring this up, this is something I just threw in there, and it's because the question I got to ask you is, are you going to play all in? Because here's the thing: if you fail, it's your fault, and if you succeed, it's your fault too as well. So it's all on you. We're going to provide you tools, resources, the support, the encouragement to get you where you need to be. But who has to run that play? Who has to be all in?
We do.
Yeah.
All right, so question, are you guys playing all in?
Yes.
Definitely.
I don't know, what was that?
Definitely. 100%.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? So playing all in, You know what's funny? Let's go back to corporate jobs. What happens when you don't show up to work, Chris, in the morning? Well, the first time,
Yeah.
first offense, what happens?
Depends on the manager, but
A
at
lenient
Tesla,
one.
you'd probably have a really bad day
Yeah,
or
okay.
a very bad month. With
Yeah, bad day.
yeah, would not be worth your time to do that. I'd say that much.
Right. Would you get written up?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. You probably get
Definitely.
fired after a certain amount of write-ups.
Yes.
I would hope so.
Yeah. I can bet you there's a lot of people out there that just because that alone, that is enough fuel to get them to work. They don't want to get fired. If they get fired, they don't have income, therefore they can't feed their family. And in real estate, you don't have that per se. You don't have anyone saying, hey, Glenn, you didn't show up today, therefore you are written. And if you do that again, you're fired. So I bring that up because I think about the next part of this conversation. Figuring out what your big why is, the thing that motivates you, that fuels you through those tough times. Because it's going to be easy for you to wake up one day, not be on the right side of the bed and say, you know what, I'm going to stay in today. Because the reality is, who's going to hold you accountable to making sure you showed up to the office?
So
What was that? Yourself. Yeah, right. Well, yourself, right? And if you don't, and if you would just rely on that, it might not be enough. So we start with your big why because it powers your big life. So the key to finding your why is to first understand that you do have one. It may not show up right away on the surface. However, it is there. And I bring that up because a lot of times we tend to have a mental roadblock around, hey, you know, I'm doing it for a job, you know, or you don't really quite know why you're doing what you're doing. So when you look at this little artwork over here, I found that online and I just loved it. So it talks about, so the things that you love, it said the world needs it, you are paid for it, you are great at it, you know. So when you think about, okay, we're talking about passion, we're talking about a profession or like a hobby. Once you find something that again, that there's passion, there's a clear mission for you, vocation and profession, then like right there in the middle, that's where we tend to find the purpose. And the thing is, we got to find your purpose because that's what's going to fuel you when things get tough. This real estate will beat you up. Gwen, would you agree?
Totally.
Yeah, can't tell you. Once you learn the skill, so we have a saying in BOLD, the program that I talked to you about, Business Objective of Life by Design, where we talk about 90% mindset, 10% skill. The skill you guys will learn, no problem. It's the mindset piece that's going to challenge you over and over and over again. So the questions to ask yourself is, what is your purpose, mission, and need? What fuels your focus and energy? And what powers your action? Eric, can I pick on you for a little bit?
For sure. Yeah, I already knew this was coming.
Why'd you know that?
For those of you who don't know, I managed Jordis's real estate stuff for 8 months before I took this position. So we know each other pretty well.
Yeah. And well, where do you think I was going with this topic?
I either knew that I wanted to chime in or you were gonna call on me. As far as finding like the big why, if you want to go back to that last slide.
Yeah, okay.
That showed like the Venn diagram.
This one?
Yeah. This was something that Jordis instilled in me like right away. Like as much as he taught me everything that he wanted me to know, he made me find this like right away. And I don't know exactly what you're gonna pick on me about, but I know this is like your number one thing. Like, because the job isn't always gonna be fun. There's mornings where you don't want to wake up. To be an agent, like there's not normal working hours. You're gonna be, you know, there's times where you're gonna have to write an offer at like 8 o'clock at night, you know, stuff like that. And so like this is, as far as I know, Jordis, this is like the number one thing that you live by as far as your career is concerned.
And so you're right. You know, I think about the agent business when you're starting out as a solo agent, or you're building a team, or you're taking a leadership role like I just did. If I didn't have a clear why to drive me, it'd be very challenging to find the fuel I need.
It's just
When
pure
things get
willpower,
hard.
right? Like
It's my
if you're not
power.
like intrinsically if you don't have like an intrinsic like this is why I'm doing the hard work, then you're gonna burn out.
You absolutely will. And you know what? I can't tell you how many times I wake up. So I live in Fort Myers. So those that don't know that yet. So I had a house and a condo in Naples. I sold it, moved to Fort Myers. So, I have a drive. I got to get up early and I'm in Marco today. So I had to leave by like about 6:45, make sure I get here at plenty of time. And it's not that bad. But the point is I get up at 5 to make sure I take the dog out, get breakfast made. If I, get my daughter ready for school. And she has to get used to the early hours as well. There's plenty of times I don't want to get up, and I'll tell you that I'll pause for a moment, and then it'll just hit me like, who is going to be negatively impacted if I don't get up and get the ball rolling, get my energy up, and get focused. I already know who's going to be impacted, and in a lot of cases for me, it's my family. And now in my new role, it's not just my family, it's my team. It's Eric, it's Bruce, it's Morgan, it's Nikki, it's Holly, it's all this member of the staff in both offices. So,
And when I worked for you, I mean, my livelihood depended on you, like
yeah.
like if you didn't do your job, I was going to be out of a job.
Yeah. I think about Bill and Katie, right? You're jumping on a team Glen with them. What, do you know their why? I would be very curious to see what your rainmaker, your team leader's why is also. And I'll give you this example of how I use this with Eric. I won't be specific. And yet what I'll tell you is, Eric, I think there were times that maybe you weren't showing up your best, or there was an opportunity,
Yeah, of course.
or you had a negative mindset thinking. And what did I do? What did I remind you of in those moments?
I mean,
Remind you of what your goals are.
If I can be like not necessarily like gently either, you're like, this is why you're doing the job. And you taught me that like you have to have like that kind of discipline with yourself, where like you have to have like the concrete why like in your head, and that has to be something that's on top of mind like
Yep.
all the time.
Absolutely. So thank you. I'm done picking on you for right now. So you're good. Stop sweating. So let me ask you this, and I don't want to put anybody in an uncomfortable spot, but are any of you three willing to share with us your why? Doesn't have to be everybody, but if just one of you is willing to share, if you understand your why, we'd love to hear it.
I will.
Go for it.
My why is to be able to spend more time with my family. My children, my grandchildren are not in town. So I want to be able to spend as much time as I can with them. That doesn't seem like it meshes with what you're going to be seeing, because I'm going to be here a lot. But you have to put the work in first for you to be able to reap those benefits.
Absolutely. So where are they? Where do they live?
Cincinnati.
All right. How long of a plane ride is that? What?
2 hours, 8 minutes.
All right. So, it costs money. I don't even know right now what it costs. It's probably cheaper right now, maybe.
Actually, yeah, it is. It's pretty cheap.
It's a lot cheaper right now. So by my knowing that now, when I see you slacking, and you won't, I know you won't. Yet if I did, I can always remind you of who's going to be impacted.
Correct.
And when I tell you that, and I was a little brutal with Eric, I would tell him in a very aggressive way. It's just my personality style. And Eric's the same way. I mean, you're military, dude. You get it, or Navy, right?
No, we're good.
Yeah, so you could take it, and yet the point being is that I taking the time to get to know him, get to know his why, and I was able to use that as his fuel, or how Bobby Boucher has say his tackling fuel. So if you watch Waterboy, Chris, you seen Waterboy? You gave me the big eye. Yeah.
Of course,
So
you have to, right?
yeah. So we got to figure out, guys, what your tackling fuel is, because that's what's going to get you through these tough times. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next piece of this. Is as you guys figure out, and one suggestion I would make to you is to sit down, quiet, no disruption, and really sit down and start to reflect on where do you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. And write a letter to yourself is the way I would do it. Write a letter to yourself 5 or 10 years from now. You pick the time frame, figure out where you're at when you're writing this letter, and read it. And it's a letter talking to yourself about everything you've accomplished, and with your family and your business and just life in general, giving whatever is important to you, because that letter is going to shape your why, and it's also going to shape your vision board, which is the next piece of it. So once you kind of understand where you're going, having some type of visual aspect to it, whether it's a board that you physically do, arts and crafts style, or something that you do online, just having representation of what it is you desire. This is just one I pulled offline. So using some combination of words, quotes, self-affirmation, artworks, pictures, or just goals that you intend to reach, so that you have that visual. I'm curious, do any of you have one? Eric, you do.
I was saying, so Jordis, me and Jordis did this together. At first glance, it seems cheesy, but when you're huddled at your desk and you have this posted, and you're like, I don't want it right now, and then you take a glance up, like you wouldn't believe how many times you look up and you're like, okay, yeah, I definitely want that. Like it seems cheesy, but it's such a solid reminder of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Was somebody else going to say something right before Eric chimed in? If you have.
I haven't done the vision board, but I have always had a 1, a 3, and a 5-year plan. Always.
Love that. I love that. So and that's shaping your big why, right? You can get your big why out of that. And here's the thing: you have the plan. I would even then just go to the next level and just talk to yourself. What are you feeling? And I'm more than open to sharing my vision letter with you that I wrote myself. That's 10 years out. And I mean, Eric, you read it. You saw how I wrote to myself, and it's first time I ever done something like that. And I'll tell you that it almost when I was writing, it was borderline bringing tears to my eyes because of just the depth that I went. So it's a real feeling I got when I wrote that, and it just all translates to my vision board. So again, it goes back to the fuel that you're going to need to get performing. And I'm going to just call Eric out one more time. So Eric, if you look at Eric's board, he's got this gentleman on there, little 6-pack dude, in good shape. And when he showed me that, I'm like, dude, who's that? And it was actually him when he was in great shape. And Eric's over the last couple of months, I don't know how much weight you lost, but you're getting back to that shape. So that's Eric right there. I'm like, that's not the Eric I hired. That my Eric didn't look like that, but yet I looked at him the other day. I'm like, wow, he's starting to lose a lot of weight, right? And I got to imagine that being right in front as far as your vision board, that probably was helpful.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like I say, it seems real. Like when Jordis was like, I want you to do this, I was like, it's so cheesy.
You didn't want to do it.
And it's just right above my computer screen. And every time I was like, I'm so tired of doing this, I look up and like, I'm not as tired anymore.
Awesome. Appreciate you sharing that picture. Show off. All right. Going to go back to the PowerPoint. All right. Next piece I want to talk to you guys about. Good. There is what we call GPS. This is your actual business plan. I'm going to walk you through the format of it, and then I'm going to give you an example of one. So GPS, what it stands for the G is for goals, the P for priorities, and the S is for strategies. You'll also hear it said 1, 3, 5, which is what is your 1-year goal, what are your 3 priorities to get there, and what are your 5 strategies within each one. So I just wanted to explain that so you know what it is. Here, over where I'm hovering the mouse, is kind of like the format for it. I'm going to show you an example of one here in a second. So again, with goal, identify and input your annual goal. And actually, let me just jump to the example so that way you can actually see a real world. Is it on my screen's a little blurry? I wasn't able to get a better screenshot of it because this is a real one, but can you see it well enough?
No, it's small and blurry.
All right. But you see the format, right? I'll read it.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So here's what, so this was actually one that I utilized for my business, when I had started the year off, and it had tweaks and stuff like that made throughout the year. But my one goal was 9.96 in volume sales. That number, based on my average commission at the time, was going to lead me to make the income I desired for my family to reach all of my goals. That was the number that was going to do it. Notice it wasn't 10 million. Notice it wasn't 8 million. It was 9.960. And granted, then when I hired Eric, it actually went up, because if Eric, you remember, then it went up to 12.6. Yeah. So
Yep.
it can be a moving target based on your goals and your priorities as far as financial goals. So now that I knew what sales volume I needed, then I needed to figure out what 3 priorities I was going to focus on. So the first priority was sphere of influence, the people that know me, love me, and trust me. And then I followed these 5 strategies in order to engage with my sphere of influence. So we did quarterly phone calls, text messages, and essentially every single week a different group of letters based on the person's last name was being called, so that by the end of every quarter, every 3 months, the whole list was being worked. So that was the first strategy, to build a relationship with my sphere and maintain it. The second one was to film 1 educational video per month for the sphere. So essentially recording a video, editing it, putting it on YouTube, and then sharing it with the sphere through an email campaign. That was the second strategy. The third strategy was to make to mail out yearly calendars, like little house magnet things they can put on the fridge, birthday cards, and holiday card. So utilizing command to remind you when their birthday was, so that you would handwrite a birthday card and send that out. And then holiday cards, generally I just sent one like general happy holiday card, instead of sending like a Thanksgiving or a Happy New Year or Merry Christmas or Hanukkah. I just sent one happy holiday card. Fourth strategy was monthly statistics for Lee and Collier County with a call to action. So every single month, our broker Jeff would put the numbers together, and I put it in an email format. Well, Eric did, and we sent it out to the agent, or to the sphere. Who do you know looking to buy or sell real estate that we can help? So that was one other touch that we did.
Side note, I brought it up at the sales rally yesterday. Highly recommend you using those to reach out to agents. You wouldn't believe the amount of agents that love those emails, and we've gotten, lots of referrals just based on those stats. So
yeah,
recommend everyone adapting that.
Yeah, and there's a class I've taught that I know I have a recording out there for. I'm sure I can find it for you, where we teach that, and we'll have more of those classes coming as well, where we teach how to leverage our referral system in KW to build a referral network. Because if you notice, so I'm going to just cover strategy number 5 real quick. Then strategy number 5 is 5 handwritten note cards daily, so 5 a week. So easy way to do that is when you're calling people up here as your first strategy, when you make contact with them, just send 5 of them a note card. Hey, it was really great to talk to you. I really appreciate your time. I'm glad to hear that work and the kids are doing well. Keep me in mind if you ever have any real estate needs. Put my business card, handwrite it, address it, and throw it in the mail. So those 5 strategies were how I was going to work my priority number 1, which was my sphere, to get to my 9.9 million. Then you go to priority number 2. I'll go quicker through this one. I just wanted to kind of help you see the format. Priority number 2 for me was agent to agent referrals. Now, what could it be for you? It could be that. It could be open houses. It could be mailers. It could be networking events. Ultimately, you are going to decide what your 3 lead sources are going to be. And then from there, create the strategy to work those lead sources. Where I see people get hung up is, first off, not having one of these. Therefore, what does it cause them to do? It causes them to come into the office with absolutely no plan. No plan. And when you don't have a plan, what do you think happens?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. No momentum. You think you're busy because you are going to the office, because you're going to a class. At some point, you need to put things into action. And the best way to know and stay focused on that action is to have this GPS, this business plan created. So the next tool that I'm going to show you to help you stay on track once you've created your business plan is what we call a 411. So I'm actually going to jump right to the format of the 411 because that'll be a better visual for us to see together. So our 411 is very simply looking at your annual goals. So if you go back to the previous slide with my number, it was 9.9. I'm just going to round up 10 so that we know what the annual goal was, $10 million. And the great thing with this tool is that you can use it for not only just your business, but you can use it for personal life. So let's say I want to lose 40 pounds. All right, I'm going to put 40 pounds here. Then I'm going to break it down into a monthly goal. So I'm going to use 12 million as the goal so I can just use easy numbers. So let's say my goal is $12 million in volume. That's my goal. What's my monthly goal then?
1 million.
1 million, right? So $1 million in volume is my monthly goal. You can do the same thing with weight. I want to lose 12 pounds this year. All right, well, this month I need to lose 1 pound. So you can determine that. And then one thing I would tell you as you're creating business plans and creating and figuring out your numbers, take into account if you're going to be working 12 months. A lot of times we tend to divide it by 12, our annual goal by 12, but are we taking time off to visit family?
Yes.
So are you working really 12 months?
No.
No. So divide that by your true working months. So it might be that it's 1.5 million for you to be able to get caught up and enjoy your 2 months off or whatever that number ends up being for you. So once you break it down to an annual and a monthly goal, this is where the value of this tool comes in. And this is what then your weekly goals. So in here, then you can start to set how many appointments you need to go on, how many people you need to put into the database. You can now have a weekly tracker of what tasks you need to be doing every single week to accomplish your 1 million or whatever that goal is. And what's great about it, if you have a coach, they're definitely going to utilize this tool to hold you accountable. If you don't have a coach, then what I would recommend you to do is create this tool, create your business plan, create this tool, and give it to somebody you trust that you know will hold you accountable. And that could be it could be each other in the room. You guys can connect together and say, hey, let's be each other's accountability partner. Here's my business plan and here's my 411. Check in with me every week on it to see how I'm doing. It could be family. You can tell your spouse or someone or your father, mother, sister, brother, whoever it might be. Hey, here are my goals and here's what I need to do every week. Can you please hold me accountable? And what's great about it is that, okay, let's say my goal was 4 appointments this week and I didn't do it. What does that mean about week 2 then? What has to happen in week 2?
You have to work twice as hard.
Yeah, well, I got to do 4 appointments in week 2 because that's my goal every week, but then I got to make up the other ones from the previous week. So now I got to adjust my week 2 goals. And when you're tracking your numbers week by week like this and having somebody hold you accountable, that's how we make sure that we're not going to go a month, 2 months, 3 months before we find out that you're actually behind pace on your goal. So I always tell folks, in this market, it's a little bit different. We're getting paid a lot quicker because homes are selling fast and they're closing generally 30 to 45 days. But in a lot of cases, you list a home in a buyer's market, it's not going on the contract right away. You might not be getting paid for 90 days or more. Right? So a lot of the actions that you're doing today is going to show up. The dollars are going to show up in about 90 days. So when I look at your $12 million goal and we're looking that we're already halfway through the month, we should already be at least close to $500,000 under contract or closed already. If we're not, we got to catch up, right? So we need to change the actions that we're doing in order to get caught up. Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. So that was the last piece I wanted to show you there, guys. I've already talked about these 2 tools right here. I talked about the Ignite training program. Eric, if you can actually get these links to them, it's the business planning clinic workbook and the Ignite script book. So if you guys don't have scripts yet, don't go out there recreating the wheel. This script book will help you and give you the scripts you need, whether you're working with a buyer, a seller, or whether you're just fielding calls that are coming in so you know what to say. So Eric, if you can just I sent you the link to this. If you can just get them the link to their emails to these, since we're doing it here on Zoom. And then the next piece, guys, so I'm going to stop here for questions in a moment. But then the next thing I want to show you is the 30, 60, 90 and the first 10-day checklist that we've put together for you to get the ball rolling. So, but I'm going to field some questions first. Eric, go ahead.
Real quick. Keep in mind that you want to use your GPS and your 411 like in conjunction with each other. Especially if you're first starting out, you like your weekly goals. Like if your goals are to make this amount of make this amount of money a year, right? And you break that down to your weekly goals, and your initial goal is to have like 4 appointments a week, but then you realize that those appointments like aren't getting you your numbers. Like you want to be ready to like adjust them, especially like starting out. Like I'm just throwing that out there. Like you're gonna have.
Well, you bring up a good point. Let's say the goal is 4 appointments to get to the number you need, but you do those 4 appointments and you're not converting them. So if you have a lower conversion rate, that means you might need more appointments.
Yeah.
If you have a higher conversion, maybe you no longer need 4 appointments anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get by with 2 appointments. So it's about adjusting the numbers as you're making progress. So definitely a good point there, Eric. Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. So I'm gonna do a new screen share here for you, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go into my Google Drive and oh wait, hold on. Let me stop share. Let me find the correct drive that I want to share with you. And then Eric, if you can, I don't. Did we get the links fixed? Remember how we talked about last time getting the links fixed?
Or what?
I'll show you. I'll talk to you sidebar on it. Let me just show everybody the tool that we have for them. If we can just share that with them. Hold on a second. There we go. All right, let me screen share now. So here's what we are going to send over to you. And then Eric, I think I've already shared this with you. Yep, you're in there. So Eric, it's in the file called Agent 30, 60, 90-day plan. So Eric, if you can just create a copy for each one of them, they each get their own. So you can see these are for other agents that I've given it to so far. So I'm just going to walk through the master one real quick.
Sure.
With you. So, and we're going to update it because now now that we have Eric in the role, Eric will get your information in here into the master copy. So we can make sure everybody has your email and phone number. Let me zoom out a little bit. Can you guys see this okay on your end?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Don't worry about being able to read each line right now. I just want to see the whole thing in one screen on my end. So in this file, when Eric shares it with you, down at the bottom, there's going to be your first 10 days and then your first 3 months. So when you look at your first 10 days, they're broken down into days. It doesn't necessarily have to be that that's all you do in that day. If it's obviously something you got done quicker, you can move on to day 2. The goal was just kind of just spread out the workload over your first 10 days of things that you should be doing, such as different phone numbers that you should be saving. If you're new in the business, getting your voicemail updated, getting your business cards ordered, getting your printer set up, getting your Gmail set up, registering at the board. So it's going to walk through the first 10 days. Eric's going to be your point of contact. So as questions come up as you're working on things, you can email Eric. Eric, if you can just put your email in the chat box, I'll put up the chat box here in a second. And then that way, and it's pretty easy.
Actually, you guys all have my card, right?
Okay, perfect.
Yes, I have it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's your 10-day list. Eric will be your go-to there. And then your first 3 months, same concept, same format. Some of the items that are on this list are things you got done in your first 10 days. And then the rest of your action items will be there. Then it'll go into your 60 days. Then it'll go into your 90 days. And as I mentioned, Eric will be your point of contact. So if something's unclear what you should be doing, shoot him a quick email and he'll get back to you with what you should be doing. One thing that I'll just tell you right now that remember I mentioned earlier, the Google Classroom with all the links, that's what we're working on right here. So some of these trainings, if they don't happen to be in the calendar right away in the month that we are in, don't worry about that. Just make sure that you go back to some type of training for that. So remember, you can look at our training calendar. You can go on KW Connect as well. And then when we have the Google links ready for you, you can go to the Google Classroom. And between all 3 of them, you will be able to find something you can attend that's related to that particular subject. So if you're on a team, I highly still encourage working through this. And then the team is probably going to have some tools and systems and trainings they're going to want you to go through as well. So what we'll do is I'll have Eric get this file over to you electronically, so you guys all have a copy of it, print it up and start working it. And a lot of these links are already embedded into the checklist itself. So let me stop screen sharing here. We got 11 minutes left, and I want to take this time to just answer all the questions you guys may have up to this point.
I don't have any.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, what was that?
I don't have any. I've already asked mine.
All right, Chris, you're good? Kristen, good?
Good.
Everybody
Well,
good?
this has been amazing. Thank you so much.
All right, I appreciate you guys then. We'll let you guys go a little bit earlier. Eric, if you want to just hang out with me here for a few minutes, we'll chat through the spreadsheet, what we need to fix on it so that we can get it emailed out to you guys, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
This is awesome.
Well, that was a good comment. Hey, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, man. I